Yep. So as you already know, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? So check it. I want to just give you a little insight into exactly how these so-called liberal allies really think. Peep game.
Guys, why? Because I don't support modern day Holocaust. I'm good. I've had friends who got deported and had to go in Alcatraz, and that's modern day hell.
What did they do?
I don't want to have this conversation with you.
What did they do?
I don't need to have this conversation with you, but what's happening is not okay. It's inhumane.
Okay. Sure.
And you're a class act clown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think your friends who were illegal? I'm not going to do that.
No, I think you should walk away.
I'm not going to do that.
I don't want to have a conversation with you is what I'm saying.
Okay. Do you think your friends who were illegal should have been allowed to vote?
They weren't illegal. You know there's U.S. citizens being fucking deported, you dumb. Please walk away.
The only one acting like a dumb is you.
No, I think you're actually stupid. Please walk away.
Okay. So your friends were legal citizens. If they need help.
Actually one of them was a legal citizen.
But the other one wasn't.
I'm not saying that. It was someone's father, and you have no idea he was here for 25.
The destiny swap. You peep that? It's inhumane to remove individuals who have no legal standing to be here. Now, they were legal citizens of 20 years who got deported. How does a legal United States citizen get deported after 20 years of hard work? This is where they're trying to tie in their cause with your intergenerational trauma because it's inhumane. They're the slave catchers and the oppressive master. Peep game.
Years, a hardworking citizen who actually did work. Unlike you, you're walking around trying to rage bait people out of fucking market. This is my booth. Please walk away.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, well then I can get you kicked out.
Go ahead, do it.
Okay.
You're the worst.
How so? How was that?
You're the worst. ICE sucks, dude. You can't be supporting
You're the worst.
Why not?
ICE sucks.
Why do you support it?
Because I believe in mass deportation of people who came into the country illegally.
Sure, do it legally, but I mean, don't f***ing harass and kill people for no reason, you know?
Who's being killed and harassed for no reason?
Alex Preddy being killed and shot for getting a gun taken away from him, trying to get Border Patrol off of a lady?
Yeah. So
Getting a gun taken away from him from trying to get Border Patrol off of a lady. So if federal law enforcement or even state or local police departments are trying to apprehend a suspect and you as a citizen involve yourself in that, is that not obstruction of justice? I mean, that's a fucking crime. But here it is. Here it is now. They're literally trying to justify why it's okay for them to commit obstruction of justice with a firearm on them. And then when they lose their life, oh, you're not supposed to do that. But these are the same people who, when you say, oh, well, hold on a minute, hands up, don't shoot. Oh, no. You should have complied. Stop. Shut up and dribble, but just comply. But for some reason, when the individual looks like them, wants to interject or wants to involve themselves in ongoing investigations with city, state, local, or federal law enforcement, right? Because some of these people actually have deportation orders, which is lawful. But because they're trying to get certain groups and segments of the population en masse to get outside and protest and support their agenda, they keep putting it in your face as it's somehow tied to your existence when it's not, because none of us are illegal. We are all birthright citizens. But let's carry on.
That shouldn't happen. Do you agree that shouldn't happen?
I agree he should not have fought Border Patrol. I agree with that.
Facts.
I also disagree that he was shot. I don't think that should have happened either.
Okay.
However,
He wouldn't
I
have been
think the
shot
first mistake in that
if he
whole
minded his
debacle was him
business.
trying to fight Border Patrol.
Bing
She was a single
bong.
lady. They were tackling her. They were all over her, man.
Yeah, so
Sean Bell. Rodney King. Sandra Bland. I could do this for days and days and days, but it ain't even about that. But what I find funny is that 11, 12, 13-year-old child playing in a park with a toy can be gunned down from a police officer jumping out of a moving automobile before it even came to a full stop and let off. Yet for some reason, these people think it's okay for an individual obstructing justice with a firearm of someone that federal law enforcement is trying to apprehend. And when they lose their life, they think that something about that is strange. But when it's you, a birthright citizen with ties and lineage and genealogical ties to the land, they tell you, you should have complied. And the crazy shit is these are your so-called liberal allies, the ones who are, if you're paying attention and reading the room, you can see what they're doing. But let me show you also how they use you. Let me show you how they use you or people who look like you to manipulate you. Hold tight.
I've changed my mind. You're, of course, familiar with the Supreme Court decision in Dred Scott versus Sandford. Yes, sir. That decision held that African Americans, whether slave or free, could not be citizens of the United States. Is that correct? That is correct. By denying citizenship, the court also denied African Americans equal political rights, equal access to the courts, and equal protection of the laws. Correct. They were denied all privileges and immunities that the Constitution affords to citizens. Would you agree that the Dred Scott decision pushed the nation even closer to civil war? It did, by invalidating the Missouri Compromise, among other reasons. Many historians posit the decision in Dred Scott helped cause the Civil War. And when that bloody war, the bloodiest war in America's history, ended in 1865, the legal status of the newly freed slaves was far from settled. Mr. Worman, after the Civil War, was it clear as a matter of law that the freed slaves would necessarily enjoy the full rights of citizenship? It was not if Dred Scott was still good law. Congress understood the danger of that uncertainty. And if the Constitution remained silent, the rights of the newly emancipated slaves could be challenged, undermined, or even potentially stripped away by future courts. That would mean that the blood shed in the Civil War was shed in vain. So Congress acted.
So to get you up to speed, the 13th Amendment, which Emancipation Proclamation, which freed the slaves or our ancestors who fought for our freedom. It wasn't given. We fought for that shit. They got tired of all the uprisings and all the Nat Turner style shit going on and the Gullah Geechee and the Seminoles put motherfucking boot to ass. So they said, you know what? Compromise time. So we fought for that freedom. But under that, they was like they had to ratify it. So that's where the 14th Amendment comes in. And this is what he's explaining.
In 1866, it passed the Civil Rights Act, declaring that the newly emancipated slaves were citizens of the United States. Mr. Worman, even after Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1866, were there serious doubts about whether Congress had the constitutional authority to enact it? Yes, there were. And so Congress chose a more permanent solution. The solution was to write citizenship itself into the Constitution.
14th
so that
Amendment.
Never again could a court repeat the mistake and the gross injustice of Dred Scott. Also, the leading commentators of the period, like Alexander Morse, Francis Wharton, and George Collins, and the view of executive officials responsible for enforcing the law, including the Attorney General of the United States in 1873 and the Solicitor of the Treasury in 1889. The consistency was remarkable, yes. So would it be accurate to say that the view espoused by my Democrat colleagues that the 14th Amendment confers citizenship on anyone born on this land, whether here lawfully or unlawfully, temporarily or permanently, regardless of whether they owe allegiance to the United States, is a relatively recent view and directly contrary to the almost universal view at the time the amendment was ratified? It's not at all clear to me when that view took root. The United States, in its brief to the Supreme Court, suggests during the administration of FDR, but it is certainly inconsistent with most.
Now, what have I been telling y'all for the longest? Black Americans is not citizens. And because we're not citizens, the people here to protect them does not protect us. This is why we're targeted more.
And that right there is the problem. The reason, well, you know what? I'll save that for another video. But when people who look like you are purposely spreading propaganda and misinformation and people buy into this bullshit and believe it, you got to start questioning shit. Now, mind you, this cat's wearing his uniform for the United Parcel Service, which means he's a what? A government employee. Well, pay attention to some of them bills that the old Barack drama put in order, where, you know, the FBI and the Pentagon actually have departments that fund propaganda and misinformation via social media, news media, television, and movies. This is some real shit, not me making it up. Pay attention. So my question is, what does he benefit from telling you that you're not a U.S. citizen as a birthright citizen and as a Solon or an Ados, an African descendant, American descendant of slavery? I mean, if you know for a fact that if you pay attention to what the gentleman was saying was that no one who comes here on a visa, right? No one who comes here on a visa. In other words, no one on vacation or no one that comes across a border illegally and has a child while they're here, that child should be given birthright citizenship, because that's not what the law, the amendment was created for. It was created for the descendants of chattel slavery. That is as in foundational Black Americans. So maybe when you actually look at the term of what is actually an African American, someone who immigrated here from Africa or someone who immigrated here from the Caribbean or South America, that's a melanated individual. Maybe they, if birthright citizenship is removed, maybe they would have an issue. But that does not apply to us because we have the genealogical records to prove exactly who we are. But see, they're using this type of shit so that they can instill fear into you, so that they can motivate you to do what they want you to do. And it always benefits them. Just as your local unions telling you to go out, or the NAACP also telling you to go out and dry ice. How exactly does that benefit you? Someone tell me how going around and involving yourself, because I mean, if we want to keep it a buck, right? As Black Americans, we always talk about police brutality and the misappropriation of state and federal funds towards our community when it comes to how they police our communities. So then why are we going around and insisting, sticking our motherfucking noses in illegal aliens' business? Because if the shoe was on the other foot and you were illegal in their country, there would be no slush fund to give you luxury hotels in Times Square. There would be no SNAP benefits that are $1,000 a month and damn near 300 times the amount of what the American citizen who's paid taxes and paid into the system actually qualifies for. But for some reason, the liberal left has convinced all of us for years that this is our fight, and it's not. It's not. And all of us as Americans, we have one civic responsibility: to make sure that all other Americans are taken care of by the system that we pay our taxes into, to make sure that our liberties, our freedoms are upheld and not given to others coming from outside the system. This is why, if you pay attention to all the PACs that are now allowed to exist within government, our government's been hijacked. And when you talk about the people that hijacked them, you get canceled. Like, this shit is wild. This is a wild world we live in. But I got time, so I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep showing what's going on. But yo, stop letting these people pimp you out like a hoe and use your intergenerational trauma against you. When they tell you something, don't take their word for it. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, even what I'm telling you. Go out and do your due diligence to prove me wrong. That's what you do. And no think pieces. Go directly to the bills. Congress.gov, CIA.gov, FBI.gov. Go straight to the horse's mouth. Look at all the numbers and the bills and everything for yourself. And for the words or phrases that you might not understand, because they may be in Black's English or legalese, just invest in a Black's Law Dictionary. I got one off of Amazon for like $50. But yeah, this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And if we don't start taking care of one another, this whole system is it's already feeding on itself, but it's gonna cannibalize itself. And everybody that's in it, that has nowhere to go, your ass is gonna get ate up in the show. So you either stand on business and correct what's directly affecting your life every day, because by default, that'll cause everything else up and down the line to start self-auto correcting. Because if everybody fights what's an actual injustice in their direct area, in their direct reality, if everybody, like I said before, it takes 3%, but if everyone does that, the system auto corrects. But if we sit back with apathy and complain about what we don't like, but say they won't let us or they're stopping us, shit's gonna never get done. And if you continue to listen to the shenanigans of asses like this motherfucker right here, you doomed. You doomed. There ain't no pass go, ain't no collect $200. Take your ass directly to jail. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here on that note. Realize. Transparency forces accountability. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars. Keep that head on a swivel, because you know it is a diabolical, dirty game. And we in the den of diabolical demons, aka the Viper's Pit. Y'all be safe out there, man, and don't fall for the motherfucking okie doke.